Well, we're back, folks. Customer number 3 is complete renting my 2015 Volkswagen Passat here in Pittsburgh. Me, of course, being the Turo host. So you're going to want to see this. Number 1, how was the customer? Any problems, any damages to the vehicle? Because this is what Turo is, hosting your personal vehicle to customers in and around your city. Obviously the pay, and we're really trying to answer the question really for you, is hosting for Turo worth it? Because it seems, pretty semi-passive. I don't really got to do anything. I clean the car, I send it off, and then I collect a paycheck. But is it worth it? So look, let's just jump right into it with the check-in process. I've done videos if you want to watch our Turo playlist of how this all works, how to list a vehicle, etc. But that's all done. Let's get into it. Let's meet our customer. So our trip here, we can see, this is the booking right now. So this past Wednesday, May 11th, 9 a.m., that's the pickup. I'm going to meet them and, exchange the vehicle here, to Sunday, well, today, at the time of watching this video, you're probably watching it a couple days later, Sunday, May 15th at 9 a.m. So let me bring up the receipt here. We can see, firstly, how much am I getting paid for dropping off my vehicle? There you go, with a complete stranger. Stranger number 3. So let's check it out here. So miles included, they get 200 miles a day. That is the minimum cap. You can't go lower than 200 miles a day. You can go higher, but ideally we don't want them to drive a ton of miles. That's wear and tear on the vehicle. So you can see here 800 miles included. The trip price, again, 4 days here, they're paying $360. Now note below that 4 days at $90 a day. So folks, if this is the first time that you're seeing one of my Turo videos, this is actually the second price increase. So I started, I think it was around $68 listing my Passat here in Pittsburgh. And then it got booked within days. I think it was 2 days of going live, it got booked. So I'm thinking, all right, well, good demand in the marketplace. I increased it to, I believe, $74. So now, again, $90 a day. And frankly, it already has increased at this point at the time of filming this video to $99 a day, trying to find that equilibrium of supply and demand. So $90 a day, there is a 3+ day discount. So let me show you my discounts page. This is all in the back end of the Turo platform as a host. So a 3+ day discount, the customer gets an 8% discount. If they book 7+ days, 10%, 30+ days, 12%. And look, I've worked in customer service. I only want my customers to have a good experience. But speaking to you as a prospective Turo host, we want to maximize margin, how much we're making, right? So I feel like I'm going to decrease these percents as well for the day discounts. So for instance, that 8% discount, I'm probably going to drop that to 5%, 7+ days, maybe 7%, and then 9% for 30+ days. But anyway, they did get that 8% discount, booking 3+ days, minus $28.80. And our trip total to the customer, $331.20. Turo fees, which is expected, right? Kind of a commission take to keep their whole thing running there. So minus $82.80. So my take home would be $248.40. So, okay, let's meet the customer here. So I'm hosting here in my apartment complex. So you can set your hosting area, if you don't want to list at your personal home or your apartment complex, wherever, I can say, hey, my meetup point, my drop off is, wherever basically. And you can set up, airport deliveries if you want to drop off there. There's a whole thing there in the backend system. Meeting my customer at 9 a.m. on that Wednesday. Number 1, very punctual. I met that customer basically, 9:02, like right after, no delays. And at least my second client had a good delay. I believe they changed the pickup start time and then they kind of had more of a delay after that. This customer, no problems with that. Pretty much exactly at 9 a.m., which I like to say. They were really professional. They were a student at one of the universities here in Pittsburgh and from out of state, but they just needed a vehicle. So here's the curveball with this customer. I don't know. Well, this actually does matter. So listen to this. So I got a notification on my phone the night prior. So what was it? It was Wednesday. So, and by the way, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing right now, because I posted in my stories. It's gone now. You missed it, but don't miss the next one. I posted Tuesday night at like 10:30 p.m. I was winding down for the night, and then I got that booking for the next morning, 9 a.m. on that Wednesday. So I ran to the car wash. I got a quick car wash, came back here, vacuumed the car, disinfected, wiped things down, hit it with some tire shine. And that was that as far as a vehicle. But anyway, meeting the customer, it's pretty straightforward as far as any check-in process on Turo. You run them through the vehicle. Hey, here's how you turn it on. Here's how you do cruise control. Just the basics, right, with a vehicle they're unfamiliar with. And this customer had used Turo, I believe, 3 or 4 other times prior. And it will say that on their profile. And I'm kind of leaning and favoring those customers. Now, I haven't denied anyone, but I like to see that at least they've gone through some vetting process and they know how Turo works. But they told me they were canceled on last minute. And then the Turo app told me that night. So when I got that booking Tuesday night, it said, hey, just so you know, basically, so-and-so was canceled on like last minute. I forget the verbiage. It says, hey, they were canceled on, just, reach out, acknowledge their trip. So one tip I'd give for you if you're considering hosting is I've said it before, communication everywhere. So as soon as I got that booking, I have a template welcome text. It's hello, so-and-so, Mike here with Turo. Thank you for renting my Passats, et cetera, et cetera. And then it said, I'll meet you out front of, the address at 9 a.m. date, just so they know, just confirming the exact date of the trip there. Could you imagine that's a pain? That's an inconvenience. If you're traveling, you just need a vehicle, you have plans most likely, and someone cancels. So not a great thing. But here's the thing. They said your vehicle was recommended next. That is huge. So again, if you can get in that recommended, and it's got to be, at least to my kind of beginner experience with Turo hosting, is, are you in the price points? Probably, is it a similar vehicle like a sedan versus a coupe? And do you have good ratings? So that's a good reason why maybe if you're slow, you underprice a little bit, slow with clients, you underprice a little bit, get some clients, like this is exactly what I'm doing, and then slowly raise the price, find that market equilibrium. But yeah, I was under Turo's recommended, which was great. And off they went for that entire, not just a 3-day, not just like a 2-day for a weekend, but 4 days until this morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. So let's go through the checkout process that happened this morning. And let me show you the vehicle. Let me watch this with you here. So let's look at the vehicle right now. Here's the exterior. And this is actually where they parked it as well. So again, when it comes down to communication, you just want to say, hey, here's where I want you to park the vehicle. If there's any metered parking or anything like that, just distinguish that. Here's free parking, here's metered, just, so they know. And let me know your thoughts on going through this vehicle. This was 4 days. And I'll just tell you the miles. It was 670 miles out of their 800-mile allocation. So what we're looking at, let's see, the back seats here, everything looks pretty good. I did see a footprint. I'll show you right here on the back, but not a big deal. I mean, nothing broken there. Let's show you, fast forward a bit to some of the wheel wells. Now, here's where I saw a bit of... Not wear, but just, evidence of the driving from my second client. It was like pretty muddy and nasty in there. But again, no real damage from the second client. Remember, this is the third client. So the front of the vehicle here, let's see the driver's side doors. Let's look at the footwells. Do you notice anything? 670 miles. Let me know if you notice anything here. So we're looking for damage, of course. Any damage, anything that's broken, anything like that. So I'm not seeing anything here. So now let's go to the front. Now pay attention to this. This is the most evidence of where they were driving and how they were driving. So yeah, the hood and stuff looks fine. Let's zoom in here. Let me get you a little bit closer and look at this front grille. It is bug city on this front grille. I mean, like seriously, bug city. So they must have been doing a lot of, highway driving and whatnot. I mean, if you feel comfortable, you can ask them, hey, what do you have planned this weekend? Are you just cruising in the city? Are you going to visit someone? And of course, they can tell you whatever. But if you want to do that, in your check-in process, you can. So the front wheel wells, not too bad as far as like mud. Again, my second client, there's a ton of mud and stuff in there. Really just that front grill area. I mean, look at the sides here. Let's look at the passenger side here. I mean, the body of the car looks still pretty clean. And, obviously I cleaned the car and whatnot beforehand, but it looks pretty good. So with that, the checkout process, how that went, and then we'll go over the final receipt. And was there any incidentals? Did they go over on miles? Well, I already told you, no, they didn't go over miles. So my take home pay, as I showed you, was $248.40. And they drove the 670 miles. We can see the starting odometer, which is, I believe, a two-sided check. So they'll put the same thing in there, their starting odometer, the ending odometer, just for verification purposes there. We have the fuel level, a little under full, but basically full. I just denoted that as well. So the earnings, I guess, verdict on customer number 3, because I'm still pretty new to this. So $248 for 4 days. And think of this. One of the biggest concerns that I had was we had great weather here in Pittsburgh, which means I wanted to get out and drive, but I couldn't. I wanted to do some food delivery shifts, make content for you. Again, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It is my job to help you make money in different side hustles. Would love to have you a part of a team here. But I couldn't do that because my car was gone. But anyway, $248 for 670 miles. Do the math on that. The dollars to mile ratio. How much am I getting paid for the miles driven? I want you to hit $1.75. When I do food delivery, I consistently hit $2 to $3 plus paid out per mile, which is very good. If you can do that, you're doing great. Maximizing the margin on the wear and tear in your vehicle, because you're putting those miles in, but you're not driving a ton of miles. So for this, 37 cents per mile. So I've said this before, but the IRS here in the US for 2022 business driving denotes 58.5 cents per business mile. That's a standard mileage deduction, which encompasses the general operating cost of a vehicle. 58.5 cents. And I made 37 cents. So by the books, I lost money on this transaction. And to compare that with client number 2, I did even worse because they went over on the mileage. I did 27 cents per mile. So after client number 3, why would you use Turo? And what are my thoughts on Turo as I get more into it? And trust me, I'm going to do more clients for you because I want to get you good content and use my vehicle to help you out. So don't worry about it. I'll take the hit for you. So drop a like on this video if you appreciate that. But I mean, seriously, Turo is very semi-passive. So I didn't do anything. If you're looking for a semi-passive side hustle, if you have an extra vehicle, or if you can rent it out, if for whatever reason you don't need to use a vehicle on weekends or certain days, whatever, and you don't mind that, frankly, bad margin, it's very semi-passive in that sense. But my thoughts on profitability, actual profitability when it comes to Turo, is I saw a comment from one of you, our team members here, that said, look, you need to either use a super depreciated older vehicle and squeeze margin out of that, it's already pretty depreciated, or a higher ticket vehicle. And frankly, some of the fleets that I've seen from Turo hosts here on YouTube, they have higher ticket vehicles, like 60,000 and up. So they can charge, I charge, now listing at $99 a day, they can charge $200 or almost $300 a day. So they're still driving miles and they're still limiting it to 200 miles a day, but they're getting more per mile. And ideally, if you think about this, really, if we go even deeper, if you have a sports car, a luxury car, or even like a hypercar, if you're in, let's say, a tourist area or a beach area, then you know, like statistically, those clients are really not driving 200 miles a day. They're not driving 700 miles on a trip because they're getting it to cruise around, that beach area, that tourist area. So if you could combine those two things, maybe a higher ticket vehicle with a tourist area, then you might really win on Turo. But for the rest of us, if that's not your case, again, either a fully depreciated vehicle or a decently nice vehicle that you can kind of squeeze the maximum margins, and or you can get extras. So clients will pay, extras for this and that. Cooking gear, I have that listed. Picnic gear, blankets, unlimited miles. They can pay for prepaid fuel. So that's a way to get more on that receipt, more payments than just the daily rate. So you could do that as well. But let me know down below, is it worth it? Do you fit any of those categories? Depreciated, high ticket vehicles? Would you do this? Would you consider it? Let me know down below. Hey, drop a like on this video if you appreciate this client number 3 testimonial. Good clients. Does help out the video and the channel greatly. I appreciate that. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.